Just so you are perfectly aware of what you're getting into when you click on this video, this is going to have absolutely nothing to do with the current NFL draft that is less than a week away. And the reason I'm making a conscious effort not to talk about the NFL draft anymore is, well, because there's nothing left to say. Okay, there's reports about Penix, about Jaden Daniels, about the Patriots, about the Cardinals, about the Giants, about trading up, moving back. What are we going to do? Top 5 under-the-radar signings that the Raiders can make in free agency after the people are already drafted, and then we can sign a long snapper from Canada because he was really good at Florida State. It's like I'm tired of people milking every single penny an ounce, I kicked the camera, an ounce they can from the NFL draft when there's nothing left to be said. Everybody knows everybody's opinions on who we think we should take, who we can get at 13. Are we going to trade up, move down? Whatever. It's over. Let's wait till Thursday. Okay. The title of the video, something that's been on my mind a while, and I hope I've gained the trust of you guys by this point to know that when I make a video with the title like that and a thumbnail like that, it's not going to be empty calories. It's going to be logical, thought out, meaningful, a point that I don't think a lot of people that have made videos or to get paid to go on different news sites, sports news sites, and talk about the Raiders have mentioned. And I think it was a conscious decision by the current regime to shift the tide a certain way in terms of play style. And I'm not talking about culture. I'm talking about scheme. And this decision might damn well win us the AFC West. Will it win us a Super Bowl? No. You need more than that. But the decision I'm talking about is this. And I've been thinking a lot about the John Gruden era recently because those are the last few times in that era that we've had this amount of success against the Kansas City Chiefs in particular since this season. This season we played them well twice. The first time didn't go as well as the second time, obviously. But the last few times we were in contention with them was the John Gruden era. Now, if you remember the games we played against them, especially the game we beat them in Kansas City, we were outscoring the Chiefs. We were out-Chiefsing the Kansas City Chiefs. We had our Tyreek Hill and Henry Ruggs. We had our Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. We had our Andy Reid and John Gruden. We had the pieces in place to go toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, we didn't have Patrick Mahomes. Derek Carr was very good in the year that we did beat them, and then almost beat them 2 times in 1 year if it wasn't for the defense being terrible at the end of the game, and that's what I'm getting to right now. I think Antonio Pierce realized there's only one Patrick Mahomes, right? And Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce together. There's only one Mahomes. There's only one Reid. If you try to out-Chiefs the Chiefs, if you try to outscore the Chiefs, you will lose 99 out of 100 times. Do you know why? Because if you outscore them and leave time on the clock, they will still score. So you need to outscore them by double digits. And the only way to do that is to force turnovers, which you rarely get to see them do when the lights are shining the brightest. Look at the Buffalo Bills. They've moved every single piece in place to out-Chiefs the Chiefs, and every single time they lose at the buzzer because they get outscored at the very end. And I think Telesco and Pierce have made things abundantly clear with one free agent signing, Christian Wilkins. We will not outscore the Kansas City Chiefs. We did not beat them by outscoring them on Christmas Day. We beat them by stopping them. In fact, people like to say we beat them without completing a pass after the first quarter. Obviously, that stat is a little straw man-esque. We only threw the ball 10 more times the rest of the game, and there was 3 drops and 2 pass interferences. So Aiden really only had 5 completions the rest of that game. But nobody wants to talk about that. With all that being said, we got stops, forced turnovers, made them uncomfortable. That's something that the Cincinnati Bengals know how to do very well. Get under the skin of Patrick Mahomes. The year that they went to the Super Bowl and beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, the same year they beat us in the playoffs, they ended the game on an interception. They picked us off. They picked off Tannehill. They picked off Mahomes. And obviously, it's not rocket science to say they signed Christian Wilkins, they being the Raiders. That means they want a really good defense. Obviously, I'm not here to tell you 2 + 2 is 4. What I'm here to tell you is this. They could have easily used that money on Kirk Cousins and easily made the playoffs. We would have went from 8 wins to 10 or 11 wins. We still would have had a good defense without Wilkins because we had a good defense without him last year. So why would they make this conscious decision to go away from somebody like Kirk Cousins and still draft a quarterback if we had him? It's not like we get him and we're like, okay, now we give up and looking for a quarterback. No, we still could have gotten pieces around Kirk and a young guy to mentor under him. Instead, they forewent the top quarterback in free agency to go shore up what is going to be the best defensive line in football. There are rumors around the draft that we're going to take a corner, right? Maybe offensive tackle, but maybe corner, to make sure we have the best defense out on the field in case there is a moment in time where we cannot rely on our quarterback to outduel Patrick Mahomes because there's nobody on planet Earth at this current moment that can outduel him when the lights are on brightest. Instead, we go to Max Crosby and Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson and Christian Wilkins and say, you stop Patrick Mahomes because we've seen you do it time and time again. Where the John Gruden era went out of their way to replicate the Kansas City Chiefs' success, the Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco era is already showing you that they are doing the polar opposite of that. We will worry about the offense, we will worry about the quarterback in the appropriate time and the appropriate effort amount to worry about the offense. But for right now, we need to focus on winning the line of scrimmage at all costs, because the only way you beat Patrick Mahomes is to make him uncomfortable. And that's very hard to do to the best player in the National Football League for the past 5 years. However, there has one team that showed that they can do it, and that is the Raiders with this Patrick Graham defense. And if we build that up, we can beat anybody, anywhere, in any time zone. Remember, John Gruden said that? That was pretty freaking cool. To put it into perspective, it's like when the Houston Rockets back in 2017, 2018 had James Harden and Chris Paul and all those boys, and they were like, we're just going to outshoot the Warriors. When it came time to play them in the playoffs, they were the only team close to beat the Warriors with Durant, but they couldn't get the job done because you cannot outshoot 3 of the best shooters to ever touch a basketball in Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson. It's just not going to happen over the course of a 7-game series. So you want to have the best chance to beat the Warriors. What do? You focus every ounce of your effort on forcing the Warriors off of the three-point line and making sure you have playmakers on offense who can get you buckets when it's necessary. And for us, that is Devontae Adams, that is Zamir White, that is Michael Mayer, that is Jacoby Myers, that is Trey Tucker, that's whoever else we draft. Those are the guys who are going to win the 50-50 balls when the game is 17-17, overtime, got to make a play, 5 turnovers combined by both teams. We mucked the waters up, and now Devontae Adams, the best receiver in the league, makes a one-handed catch to win the game. That right now is how the Las Vegas Raiders are looking to construct their team. They are not looking to outscore Patrick Mahomes because when you really think about it, that's a failing strategy. And although we did it a few times with Derek Carr, more often than not, we lost those games. We only beat the Chiefs once in the John Gruden era. And it was a very, very resounding victory. We played them competitive a few more times, but it wasn't like this. It wasn't like we were up 14-0 that first time and then the wheels fell off, or it wasn't like complete domination on Christmas Day. If we could find a way to shore up a few positions in the defense, maybe a linebacker, maybe a corner, have the best defense in the league, a top 5 defense in the league, and then have just a competent enough offense, we can absolutely compete for the division. I mean, we were still in this division with a few games to go with Jimmy Garoppolo and a rookie 4th rounder playing the majority of snaps for us, mixed with a little Brian Hoyer. We are shoring up the defense, making it the best it can be. And if we find a quarterback, might be on the roster, might be in the draft, that can go toe-to-toe with Mahomes every now and again, the sky's the limit. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this vid. The draft is coming up in a few days, and as you know, I said at the beginning that I was frustrated about people just constantly milking the draft for any possible morsel of new. Oh, Jaden Daniels is wearing a black hoodie. Does that mean we're trading up? It's like, okay, let's just wait and see what happens. Comment below your thoughts on my thoughts. Drop likes, drop comments. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/ALLaBorde Raiders. You get early access to videos, exclusive content, ad-free content, name at the end of the credits, Discord access, the whole 9 yards. Check it out, but if you don't want to, that's okay. You're doing enough by clicking on my face to watch the videos. Please be sure to subscribe. It is free after all, no charge to you. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.